What's up? What's up? Dub them me's, everyone. The Mark Weber here for yet another one of these NFL preview videos. It's a really great time where we talk about just some of the good things the team did and some things to maybe be concerned about, and then just look game by game at the schedule and see what we think the record's going to be. Today we're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that has a lot of question marks, to be honest. I mean, you got a coach who's on the hot seat. You got a quarterback who might also be on the hot seat. He's got a 3-game suspension, so Jameis Winston's not doing himself any favors. Last year, this rushing game was awful. The passing game actually was pretty decent, and the defense was average. So it's an interesting kind of spot to be in. Is it going to be better for this team? Is the offensive, attack going to be a little bit more balanced? You definitely did some work in this offseason. You made improvements to the offensive line. You got a running back in Ronald Jones out of USC, because I don't think you can expect Peyton Barber to be your main running back. So expect a lot out of him. Vita Vea, I absolutely love it. That's a solid player. Like I said, this defense was, average to a little bit above average. And I think that a guy like Vita Vea, just a big monster of a defensive tackle, that's going to add a lot to this team. But really, when I look at this Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what I'm concerned about for you guys and what I'm a little bit worried about is a little bit of that off-field distraction. Jameis Winston has definitely not been bad, but he hasn't completely lived up to the hype of that #1 overall pick that he was. And now with a suspension, a 3-game suspension, another sexual assault allegation against him, a lot of off-the-field issues. I know a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans are kind of just sick of him and almost wish that he would just kind of go away at this point. But I don't know. I don't know what to really say about Jameis Winston in that case, because if these allegations are all correct, you don't want a guy like that being the face of your franchise for sure. I mean, you don't like it at all, and there's just too many of it. It's getting a little hard to handle for you guys. I'm sorry about that. But let's move into the actual schedule and just talk about some of these teams. Now, the NFC South is a very tough division, so that's going to be a difficult thing to go through. But then you're also going to play some other challenging teams here as well. We're going to get to it. So let's just go game by game. Against the Saints, at home for the Saints, so you're on the road. I'm sorry, I don't like that opening up. I had that one going to the Saints. The Eagles, they're the defending Super Bowl champions. I'm sorry I can't give you that one, especially not with Jameis being suspended as well. Once again, though, you got the Steelers. Jameis isn't there. I have to give it to the Steelers in that case. This is the one that's difficult for me. This is probably the most difficult game out here. Week 4, Jameis is back, but you're going to Chicago. And it's the Chicago Bears. You guys know me. I love the Chicago Bears. I have trouble with it. Jameis Winston versus Mitchell Trubisky. Two nice kind of hopefully high-powered offenses. It's a little bit of a struggle. I can see the Buccaneers beating the Chicago Bears for this one, but I am going to give the edge to Chicago on that because I think that Chicago has a proven running game where the Buccaneers running game is still a mystery with Ronald Jones. I do also think that the defense in Chicago is a much better defense than Tampa Bay's defense is. Mitchell Trubisky and Jameis Winston, I might put those as a push right now, but more is leaning towards Chicago. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. Falcons at home for the Falcons. You guys are on the road, so I'm going to give that one to the Falcons. The Browns, the Buccaneers, you guys can beat the Browns for sure. The Bengals, that one's kind of a little bit of a toss-up. I can honestly see it going either way with this one. Like I said, I can see it either way, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Buccaneers, I got you against the Bengals. You've won 2 in a row. Things are maybe starting to look up a little bit. The Panthers, definitely a good team as well. Like I said, all the teams in the NFC South are solid teams. You're on the road, though, so I'm going to give it to the Panthers. I'll have you beat the Redskins. Alex Smith, yes, he's a good quarterback, but I don't know that he's got the pieces around him like he did when he was actually in Kansas City with Andy Reid. So I don't know that that's going to be that great of a team for for him to be around, so I'm going to give the Buccaneers that win. Moving forward, though, the Giants, it's home for the Giants, so I think that's going to have me lean towards them. But I don't completely believe in what Pat Shurmur can do for the Giants, only because I didn't like what he did for the Browns. And even though he had a really good time with the Minnesota Vikings, offensive coordinator is different than a head coach, so I'm going to go ahead and give that one to the Buccaneers as well. So you guys got that one. Now you got the 49ers coming into town. I'm not buying all the hype on the 49ers, but I still think they're a really good team. So I got to lean towards giving this one to the 49ers. You get your home game against the Panthers. I'm going to give you that one. I still think the Saints are going to beat you, even though you're the home team. Ravens, I like the Ravens this year. I think they're a good team, even if people think that, Joe Flacco's out the door. I think having Lamar Jackson there actually might push him to do better and kind of get to a little bit more of that time where we thought, hey, maybe Joe Flacco's an elite quarterback. I'm going to give week 15 to the Ravens. Now with the Cowboys, I can see it going either way, but I do think the Cowboys are going to bounce back. They've got a really good team. Ezekiel Elliott, what's not to love about Ezekiel Elliott? Sure, Dak Prescott needs to find that number one wide receiver, but I definitely think they've got a great team. Going to give this one to the Cowboys. And that last one for the Falcons, I do really like the Falcons. I'm giving that one as well. So I have right now a record of 5-11 for the Buccaneers. Nothing to be excited about. I know you guys aren't crazy about it. Maybe that leads to a new head coach. Maybe that leads to more questions about Jameis and maybe drafting somebody to see what happens with that. I don't know as far as that goes, but I do know that it would not be this is not a good season for you. You're not happy if this is if you end up with 5-11. I can see it, though. I can see a few of these games swinging, honestly. I can see possibly 3 games swinging the opposite way. Maybe it's a Cowboys game. Maybe the Falcons at the end of the season don't really care that much. Maybe you can beat the Chicago Bears. That could get you to 8-8. If you can get to 8-8, I think you're maybe at least a little bit okay with the way the season went. But really what you need to see is you need a guy like Ronald Jones to really step up. You need to see Jameis Winston really take ownership of this team. The defense is all right. I think they'll be okay. But for you guys, I want to know what you think. What's going on with Jameis Winston? Do you really see him? Let's look maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the future. Do you still see him as your quarterback? Do you think that you're going to have a new head coach coming soon? Who is the number 1 running back that you guys think is out there? And what do you think that the record's going to be? Don't forget to check out the Onside Kicks NFC South preview and prediction that we have. We saved the predictions for these videos, so check out the rest of them that we have on the Onside Kick. But the actual podcast itself does a lot of talking about what the different teams did during the offseason, during the draft, things like that, and what we can expect in the future. But like I said, I want to know what you guys think, so I'll be down below in the comment section checking out what you think is going to happen for this year's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've got 5-11, but let me know what you guys got down below.